Hey everybody, this is Bat Merc. Today I'm going to be reviewing the Punisher Red Band. Let's get in there. So yeah, I went to the comic book store to pick up my my Conan pull, and I picked up the Absolute Batman as well. Check that out, and I got this. I guess they thought I wanted this Punisher. I didn't. I actually ordered the one for was written by Palmiotti and the art with by Dan Panosian. Came in the blood bag. I figured I'd give it a shot. It might be a back to basics approach to the Punisher. It had the tantalizing Thomas Jane infamous Punisher skull that has been adopted, from different forms of law enforcement. So I was like, okay, that's some bait right there. I'm gonna check it out. Okay, so you get in here, it starts up, and you got some decent artwork right here. Some of it feels like there's a lot of assists from possible 3D models and whatnot. You got to add for Stegman's Null. Looks like they got him back for that. Pretty cool character. Not really interested in Mary Jane being the Venom. I think that's pretty lame. But we have him waking up right here. I thought he was going to be crawling out of hell. I don't believe that's what it is. What they did with the Punisher from the previous writer, I believe it was Jason Aaron. They totally cucked him beyond all recognition. They treated him worse than any Marvel character I've ever seen. I didn't think they were gonna show what happened after that, and they didn't. As I predicted. So they have him crawling forth. Right here, he sees red. Red, the color of pain, is all he knows. Not where he is, or when he is, or even who he is. He is a body. The right deltoid and the left vastus lateralis. He knows from the rate of coagulation and swelling, along with the lingering smell of sulfur, that the gunfight happened within the past 10 minutes. He knows that the 9mm Uzi, which feels good and reassuring in his hand, has a 32-round magazine, and his is empty. So you had a perfect basic setup for a gunfight battle on a ship, which would have been pretty badass. I think that they probably wanted to allude to like him crawling out of hell somewhat, and not really be really blunt in the face with it. This book does have the gore in that. I do give him a point for that, but this is a missed opportunity. It should have opened with a splash. It's a fucking Punisher, so he should be in there with a big action spectacle. He should have been fucking people up. It shouldn't be. You shouldn't open a book with an aftermath. Even it might sound creative or whatnot. You don't do that when you're returning the character to its prime, in my opinion. So if we're already sitting with this Punisher that's been around for a while, it wouldn't be that bad if it was issue number 3 or 2. I'll allow it. But for that was a bad choice. Kudos, I give him points for the old school Punisher costume from Warzone. Fucking badass. Not something that a real Punisher in real life would wear, but in comics, with the suspension of disbelief, I think it looks fucking rad. Definitely a lot of statting going on. I just feel like there's a lot of 3D model tracing in this book. It definitely gives for the cinematic. If you're gonna fuck with 3D models, you're definitely gonna have like cinematic qualities to it in camera views. But I don't like that. I like cartooning. I like to see like unrealistic lines. I like to see the artist's hand in there. I like to see their mistakes. So that's some of the things that I do not like about modern comics. So he's firing at the cops just to kind of give himself some time to run away. He's not trying, not trying to kill him in here, he says, though. So not aiming to. So he sinks to the bottom, just kind of like, just like whatever. But like, yeah, that's a good panel right there. I like that one. You can usually tell when it's really the artist's hand in there. There's certain spots. I do like the way he draws. He draws a Punisher very brutish, very chunky, kind of short. Yeah. Then we got this stat panel right here. Copy and paste. That looks traced like a 3D model. We have Wilson Fisk in here. I do like the way Wilson Fisk looks. He looks pretty cool. I like the design. Definitely got the cartoon vibes right here in the old school Marvel look. He basically tells this priest, you think it's Frank Castle, but it's not, or you might even think it's Daredevil Matt Murdock. Please reach beneath your bench. Who are you? Beneath the bench, Father, please. Let me first say I admire the Catholic Church very much. Its commitment to disaster relief, food assistance, healthcare, and social services is truly exceptional. A standard we should all aspire to. Unfortunately, whatever your dealings with vulnerable populations, there's always someone lurking about to hopes to prey on them. And that certain someone is you, Father O'Connor. For the past 20 years, you've been using your position within the international charities to traffic men, women, and children to this fair city. So he's trafficking men, so he's just bringing in immigrants. So right there, to me, that was a little unclear. So he wants to make the father, Minecraft himself just because he's bringing in immigrants. To me, that doesn't make sense. So are they trying to trump this motherfucker up? That's fucking lame. I hope they're not trying to do that. It's stupid. And if that's what they're doing, if they're doing allegorical bullshit like they were kind of trying to do with the TV show, where my Fisk man bad, I think that's so lame. But anyways, we'll see what happens. Then we open up right here. We got the cops investigating. You got Grace Jones from Conan the Destroyer in here. She's a head detective. CSI. They're trying to figure out who it is. Then you got Tombstone. Looks pretty badass right here. I like the composition right here. Still looks a little traced or just dropped in 3D models. Yeah, so no one messes with Tombstone. I want to make something perfectly clear. You're not getting out of here alive. Which is better than the alternative. I take you apart piece by piece. There are 5 of you. From 5 of the gangs, most likely to fuck with me. All I need is a name. Who's the fuck who killed my crew? Who's the fuck who destroyed my shipment? Who's the fuck making a fucking move? Or whatever, you know what I mean? And just like, I don't know. I kind of feel that like maybe they wanted to have a distinction between his villainy and Kingpin's, Fisk's. But I also feel that like, I mean, a couple of F-bombs here and there is cool, but I think that he's a comic book villain, so maybe have a little more fun with the wordplay. Maybe not use so much profanity all the time, but occasional F-bomb here and there is realistic. People do cuss, but I don't know. I think it's a little over the top. This I do like. I do like the call out to artists in here, the artist superstar, the next generation of elite artists. Let the fucking artists sing. This is a visual medium. Without artists, comics will not exist. Okay, you do need good writers, but yeah, it's a visual medium. It's the artists and the writers. I will say though, if the story isn't good, then the comics aren't going to sell. The story is more important than the art, but if the artists aren't put in the spotlight, then all hell breaks loose and the medium will die. So it's a double-edged sword in some degree. But definitely the artists, they do need to shine a little bit more no matter what the case. Because as a kid growing up, I bought the comics. I didn't even fucking read them. I looked at the art. You know what I mean? Especially artist kids that are coming up in the world. This guy Diaz, badass. And I haven't seen all these other guys, but this dude's been around a minute. Jeff Shaw. He did a lot of work with Donny Cates before Donny came over to Marvel with was it Buzzkill and God Country, both books I recommend. I don't think I did reviews of them. Then we got this scene right here. This old lady, she's picking up Frank. She's like, "Oh, how can I help you?" type shit. And let's put him in a hospital. He's like, "No hospital." And from this point on, guys, I'm just gonna spoil the book, okay? Just because I feel that I need to. I normally don't do that, but it's a number 1, and there's a lot of expectations. Okay. Tweezers. Lighter. Needle and thread. Hurry. I actually like this scene. I've got it all. Oh my. Yeah. Let's see here. This isn't the first time you've been hurt. Are you a bad person? Should I be afraid of you? You know what? Don't answer that. Here, I don't drink this stuff, but it was my husband's. So you get the Get the vodka. Pretty cool breakdown. I like this. Seems like he copy and pasted the brush stroke in each panel. See, like little stuff like that. Maybe not. This one's different. I don't know. Some of them look the same though. Yeah. No, they're all different. Okay. I like this page. Yeah. So I like to feel like, you can see what the artist is doing, I like to, sometimes it just feels that they're tracing a lot of shit. Okay, then you got, I'm not really sure what they're doing with Fisk right here. What a view you have when you look out on the world from on high. You can't help but think it all belongs to you. Isn't that right, City Councilwoman Ross? Maybe that's one of the reasons you thought it was okay to accept those bribes from the Russian state. New York City is one of the largest economies in the world, and you've been busy sucking at its teat, haven't you? So then again, you got the whole like Putin and Trump allegory thing right there. It's kind of like, come on, dude. So it's what it look like. It's what it's looking like. We'll see. Sucking and biting, never thinking there'd be blood. But New York won't be stained and compromised any longer. I, Wilson Fisk, the Kingpin, I'm seeing to it personally. I'm inspired, you see, divinely inspired. So you got the butcher Tombstone. I always liked Tombstone. I just thought he was a badass character. For me, I think he should be just really cold and stoic. Probably, wouldn't be swearing as much. I know there would be like kind of a similarity to Fisk, but I would do that. I just seem kind of cooler, colder, stoic, calculated, similar to Fisk, but in his own more gothic way, I guess, about it. You got Frank right there. Again, they're drawing him kind of like a tank, kind of like Marv, kind of hulky. I think that's badass. I like that. Artist draws really good faces. I like the look of it. So, but I also have my blunt cold instruments, and one of them just kicked off a gang war. It's always such a delight seeing the trash take out the trash. So, and he's talking about the Kingpin. He's talking about Tombstone. So, what's your name? It's only right you tell me. I'm Judy. I've let you into my home and I've helped you, haven't I? God knows why. I don't know. How's a man not know his name? Yes, that's what happens when you get hit with a bullet to the brain. But you didn't get shot there. What are you talking about? You passed out just like you said you would. I went to sew it up, your head, but it was done. Somebody already fixed you up real good, see? What's wrong? What's happening? All right, Frank. You've rested long enough. Time to get back to work. Activate Punisher. Click. Are you okay? Please say something. Do you have any guns? So, I'm thinking, I don't know what to think so far. But then I did read some of the stuff in here about the creators. But still, I don't know. Could be big. Here we go. Hello, Punisher readers. Editor Devin Lewis reporting to you live and in print from Marvel headquarters in the heart of New York. As I type this, it's a sweltering summer here in the city, and it is much easier for those folks in the Marvel universe, as things are really starting to heat up with the return of the one and only Frank Castle. I'll level with you, readers out there in mighty Marveldom, if I've always been a pretty big Punisher fan. I was first introduced to the character in the 1994 Spider-Man animated series. And even as a tyke, there was something about Frank Castle's look, no-nonsense approach, and explosive ordinance that made him undeniably cool. In hindsight, I might have also helped that I was 5 years old and the cartoon incarnation of the Punisher wore his classic white glove costume, a war journal-inspired bandana, and a trench coat from the pages of Warzone. Truly was the best of all worlds. And with a true wealth of works from too many legendary creators to list, how about Chuck Dixon and Mike Baron? The team on the cartoon certainly had a lot of work with it, to work with. No matter the reason, I was hooked, and it didn't take long for me to start adding the Punisher to both my pull list and the titles I'd keep an eye on for a while. Back issue bin diving. From Return to Big Nothing to Frankencastle and everything in between, I've always kept an eye on Frank's adventures. And so to be able to work with this incarnation of the characters as close to a dream as it is as one gets. But I'm not the only Punisher fan working on this series. Heck, I'm probably not even the biggest Punisher fan. That title almost surely belongs to the series scribe, Ben Percy, who, wouldn't you know, also has an affection for the Marvel U's most vindictively violent vigilante. But don't take my word for it, from Ben himself. So I agree. I used to watch, the cartoon. Used to tape it back in the day. I had every episode. Me and my pops. So I know exactly what he's talking about. I did like that PG-13 Punisher. It was fun, right? And then that's where Punisher started, was in, Spider-Man. And it was based off of Charles Bronson's character in Death Wish. Okay. And I do see the Punisher as somewhat of as a Catholic heroic vigilante. There's a lot to be argued with about the character, though. But I'm a little on the fence of some of the ideas about Frank. But I will say I do not like what they have been doing to him in the past few years. So there's a little hope in what this editor is saying. But again, I hope he's not baiting us. But again, so let's hear what this writer has to say. When I was a kid, we moved around a lot. So I was always in a new school, a new town, a new address. But the stories I surrounded myself with stayed the same, and the Punisher was a constant. I'd read issues of War Journal over and over until they fell apart in my hands. I'd fish issues off the spinner rack at the gas station, and I'd hunt them out of long boxes at garage sales. Why I even gravitated so strongly toward a dark-hearted vigilante machine like Frank Castle, I don't know. There's probably something wrong with my hard wiring, but I suspect it had something to do with forever looking out of a different window. When you're always the new kid, you need to know how to fight. When you're always the new kid, you're mourning what's been lost and left behind. When you're always the new kid, you have to figure out your own shit. An anti-hero like Frank was nomadic, but at home with himself, completely capable and in charge of his own narrative and defined by resolve and code, no matter how problematic. I hate that fucking word, problematic. That I loved. There was a kinship there with Conan, Wolverine, and certainly Ghost Rider too. So yeah, I agree with that, dude. So like I understand where you're coming from with this. But also characters like Roland Deschain, the titular gunslinger from Stephen King's Dark Tower series, who I also gravitated toward. Yeah, Stephen King, he's a fucking nut. These anti-heroes were driven to battle. I mean, he's got some good stories. He's fucking crazy now. Battle back against the darkness of the world. Monsters fighting monsters. So, writing the series means a lot to me. And I'm thrilled to be paired with Julius Ota, who absolutely killed it literally when he joined forces on Helverine. That looked pretty metal. I didn't read it. I didn't check it out. We're going to stay true to legacy. I'm going to read that again. They're going to stay true to legacy. All right. So hopefully they do. But we hopefully put our own unique stamp on the franchise, which we need. We need people to put unique stamps, but not fucking woke bullshit. Okay. Yes, the Punisher is defined by grief and grit, mayhem, action set pieces, doom, and steel cold justice. We'll be serving up plenty of that. But we're going to open this run in the style of a paranoid thriller. Okay, I'm down with that. See, so, this I wanted to read this and talk about the beginning of the story where he's waking up. Again, they didn't touch on the shit that happened with him and his wife, but Aaron fucked up. He jammed that up pretty bad. They didn't talk about that, but hopefully they deal with it again. I don't know what they're going to do, okay? But paranoid thriller, you're thinking Hitchcockian, that might be cool. So we'll see. The Punisher is a man on the run who has lost his memory and internal compass. Yeah, I don't know. But again, he's going to be mind controlled by Wilson, possibly Trump, TDS Fisk. So I don't know if it might be kind of boring to read that. But we'll see. He barely knows who he is beyond his reptilian self. He only knows he must survive in a world that wants to use him as a weapon or see him buried for good. Frank is back in black. Lock and loaded. Thanks for giving us a shot. Okay. So they want people to write in right here. I think that's good that they said that, they want to hear from people. I'm not writing in this. I encourage people do write in and speak your mind. Frankly speaking, I think that's a good idea. I think that they need to have all of the fucking variant cover art in the back. Fuck this shit, get it out of here. Don't get me wrong, I love me Ghost Rider, but you need to have that. That's one thing Conan's doing a great thing with. They have little they have sometimes chainmail, and they also have Jeff Shanks. He does a deep dive on Conan lore. They could do a deep dive on Frank Castle lore and the different writers that have tackled the character, and pay respect to them. And also show the covers and the artists. Pay respect to the artists. Show pinups. There's fucking tons of stuff you could do. And these papers, they're toilet paper. It's papyrus. It doesn't cost shit. They can add like 5 more pages back here. This is a $5 comic. It should have that in the back. But get rid of this. Put the covers on the back. And if you can't do that, then fucking put the covers on the back of here so we could see the all the artwork, all the variants. If you guys are gonna make a bunch of variants, then at least let us fucking look at them. But that's my comic. Thanks to everybody that's been turning out for the live draw streams I just started doing. Really appreciate it. All the new subscribers. I definitely give this book. I'll give this book 1 horn up. Okay, and I'm gonna check out the next issue, see where it's going. Probably give it another issue or 2. Okay, and see if it's Punisher bait or not. Yeah, so I give it 1 horn. Thanks for watching, everybody. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Always remember to be bold, be brave, and roll the bones to know your role. Keep it fucking metal.